The Ponte Vedra equity story is changing. For years, we lived in a purely rising market where almost any home would sell, regardless of effort. In 2026, we have transformed into a landscape that specifically rewards strategy, preparation, and pricing discipline. While equity remains near historic highs, the market has become more selective. Most of you have not run the numbers in years, so let's do it together. I'm Jennifer Walker of the Volen Group, and I help people just like you every week who want to move or to sell in Ponte Vedra Beach. And I'd love to help you too. The best way to reach me is by calling or texting me at 904-822-8191 or booking an appointment using the link below. You'll find everything you need in the description. And just stick around because at the end, I'm going to give you the 3 questions every long tenure owner should ask themselves before assuming the right answer is to just stay put. Let's start with the number that matters most. Year to date in core Ponte Vedra Beach, the median sales price is up 26.4% over the same period last year, and price per square foot is up 14% on top of that. That's not a typo, and that's not a fluke quarter. That's the real story of this market right now. We worked with a woman last spring who had lived in her old Ponte Vedra home for 19 years. She had raised her children there, weathered storms, and replaced the roof, but she had no real sense of her home's current value. Her mental number was frozen back in 2018 during a refinance. When we finally sat down to run the real numbers, she was stunned. I had no idea I was sitting on this much, she told me. That clarity didn't force her to sell immediately, but it changed her entire perspective on her financial future. Here's why this happens so consistently. When you've lived in a home for a long time, your mental number tends to freeze at whatever it was worth the last time you genuinely thought about selling. Maybe a refinance 5 years ago, or maybe just a number you overheard at a neighborhood gathering. Markets don't freeze, they move, sometimes quietly, sometimes the way this one has over the past year. I talk to longtime owners almost every week who are stunned by where their equity actually sits once we run real numbers. It's not hype, it's just math, and that hasn't been updated. This is where I want to draw a clear line because it matters. An online estimate, the kind you get from a quick search, is built on broad algorithms and public data. It doesn't know that your kitchen was renovated in 2022, that your lot backs up to preserve, or that homes on your specific street in Old Ponte Vedra, Marsh Landing, Sawgrass, or Fairfield are commanding a premium right now that a citywide algorithm simply can't see. A real valuation looks at your home specifically, comparable sales on your actual street, the condition and finish of your home today, and the current appetite of buyers for exactly what you have. The gap between those two numbers is often larger than people expect, and it's almost always in the homeowner's favor. Once you know your real number, the next question is what to actually do with it. In this market, there are 4 primary tactical playbooks for your equity. The downsize playbook, this is for the owner who no longer needs the square footage but wants a higher quality of life with less maintenance. Tactically, in 2026, this means looking at the net gain after the buy up into a newer, more efficient home where insurance premiums and maintenance costs are significantly lower. Many owners are trading a larger, dated property for a turnkey luxury villa or condo, essentially cashing out the extra space while upgrading their daily environment. The relocate playbook. We're seeing long tenure owners take the substantial Ponte Vedra equity and move to different states or lower cost communities. Tactically, this requires timing your exit to capitalize on the fact that while our market has normalized, Ponte Vedra Beach remains a premium destination for inbound buyers from Miami, New York, and DC. You are selling a premium lifestyle to those buyers and carrying that high value equity into markets where it goes even further. The Convert Playbook, some owners choose to convert their long term primary residence into a second home. This allows you to keep your connection to the beach while spending most of your year elsewhere. Tactically, you need to evaluate the carrying costs, insurance, property taxes, and HOA fees are central decision factors in 2026. Understanding your equity position allows you to decide if you can afford to hold the asset as a legacy property or if the market value is too high to ignore. The Estate Gifting Playbook. For many, this is a conversation about intentionality. Rather than letting equity sit untouched, owners are using today's high valuations to gift to the next generation or simply their estate. Tactically, this involves working with your financial advisor to move equity while the market is still rewarding well-positioned homes, rather than waiting for an uncertain future cycle. It's about using the home as a financial tool while you have the maximum leverage. None of these is the right answer for everyone. They're simply the real options once you actually know what you're working with. Here's the caution I want to leave you with before the close. Even in a market this strong, most homes are still not closing over list price. And aspirational pricing, listing based on hope rather than data, is exactly where sellers leave money on the table or watch a home sit longer than it should. Strong equity doesn't mean automatic results. It means you have real leverage, but only if the home is priced and presented with precision. That's the entire idea behind the market elevation method we use with our listing clients. Prep, position, and present every home so that the strong market actually works in your favor instead of against you. Common concerns. Should I wait for interest rates to shift? While it's a common question, the data shows that 2026 buyers are more selective and financially sophisticated. They are focused on total cost of ownership, which includes insurance and taxes, not just rates. Waiting for a rate drop often brings more competition into the market, which can dilute your leverage. Clarity comes from the numbers today, not waiting for a sign that may never come. How long does this take? The days of pending in a weekend for every home are gone. In neighborhoods like Marsh Landing or Fairfield, median days on market have expanded, sometimes to 160 days or more. This makes your launch strategy critical. A well-priced, well-prepared home still moves faster, but you must plan for a more normalized timeline to reach the right buyer. What about the market cooling? We are seeing 92.6% of sales closing under list price in some segments. This isn't a crash, it's an expectations reset. The market is rewarding sellers who move away from aspirational pricing and towards data-driven valuations. Your equity is still there, but capturing it requires a precise plan. So, as promised, here are the 3 questions I'd ask yourself before deciding the right move is simply to stay. Question 1. When did I last get a real valuation, not an online estimate? If the honest answer is more than a year ago, your mental number is probably stale. Question 2. What would I actually do with this equity if it were sitting in front of me today? Downsize, relocate, convert, gift? There's no wrong answer, but it's worth having a real one. Question 3. Am I making this decision on my own timeline, or am I waiting for a sign that may never come? Markets shift. The clearest version of this decision usually comes from running the numbers, not from waiting indefinitely for certainty. If you're buying, selling, or just trying to figure out what comes next in Ponte Vedra Beach, you can call or text me at 904-822-8191 or connect with me by booking a free strategy session using the links below. We'll look at your goals, your equity, the market, and build a clear 12-month plan together. The link is pinned in the description, and there's no pressure, just a smarter starting point. I'm Jennifer Walker with the Volen Group.